Hello and welcome to another speaking video by Johnny. And now, this is class IELTS 33 and they are going to do their regular practice. Unfortunately, Miss Kui is busy today. She cannot join us, but we have 4 people left in the class. Now, are you ready for your speaking practice?
Yes, we're ready.
Yes, and outside it's raining so hard. Let's do topic number 28 to warm up. Relax. So, Mr. Bang, what do you do to relax?
Actually, I spend my relaxation time doing my gardening as a way to relax. Actually, I'm doing gardening as a way to relax.
You mean gardening?
Gardening.
Gardening as a way to relax, I see. I see. Let's just speak slower, okay, and more clear, shall we?
Okay, for sure.
Tell me, Mr. Bang, do you think doing exercise is a good way to relax?
Well, I think it's also considered a good way as you can relax and as well as you can boost your health condition. Boost your health condition.
Boost your health. Let's just say boost your health.
We don't say
boost your health.
Boost your health. Oh yeah, boost your health.
Let's just say to improve. We don't say boost, I think. We still say improve your health. Chứ còn nói là cải thiện sức khỏe là improve your health là được rồi. There's something that people often say. We say improve our health. We don't say boost our health.
Strengthen.
What you want to say boost, we say boost your productivity.
Oh yes.
Tăng cái sức sản xuất. But when we say health, we say improve your health. We don't say boost your health, okay?
Okay, I see.
So, Miss Yuen, please, what do you do to relax?
I usually listen to music and read books in my garden to relax.
To the music?
Yes, listen to the music to feel relaxed.
I listen to the music.
Okay.
Can you repeat again? I often listen to the music.
I often listen to the music in the garden to relax.
Oh, that sounds very relaxing in the garden. So, do you feel you need more time to relax, Miss Yuen?
Especially we are in quarantine now. We're facing with COVID-19, so I don't want to need more time to relax. I just want to hang out and do something meaningful.
Productive work, right?
Yes.
Just do more productive work. I see. Now tell me. So, Miss Tu, please. Miss Tu, and don't turn off your microphone. Hello, Miss Tu, are you still there? Come on, turn on your microphone, please. Your microphone.
Yes,
okay, she's always sometimes busy.
Yes.
Yeah? Anyway, Mr. Yuen, please. Do you think vacations are a good way for you to relax?
I think yes, if you have wealthy if you are rich.
If you are rich. If you are rich. Wow.
If you are rich or wealthy, you vacation will be relaxed for you.
Relax.
Say again? I can't understand that.
It depends.
Không hiểu.
I think it depends. If you can leave the work behind and spend entire time.
The way you say it makes me not understand it. Can you say again, please?
Okay.
For yourself, spend entirely time of vacation for yourself. Just be relaxed.
I think Mr. Bang is saying. I think if you are wealthy and rich.
Wealthy and rich are the same thing.
Yeah. I think wealthy is a little bit poor than rich. Than rich.
It's the same thing.
Okay, so if you're rich, vacation will maybe relax for you.
Will
Because
maybe
if you're
relax? No, it may be relaxing for you,
relaxing.
and it makes you feel relaxed. Be careful.
Okay.
It's an adjective, relaxing or relaxed. You have to choose. Okay, so Mr. Young, do you think doing exercise is a good way to relax?
Well, I exercise at home too. Even in the COVID-19, I still exercise. But for me, exercise not really a good way to relax because I have to training very hard, like learn practicing Muay Thai. Do you know that?
No. Muay Thai. Muay Thai. I see. Muay
Muay
Thai.
Thai.
Muay Thai. Muay Thai.
It's really hard and it's cost me a lot of energy for a whole day, so I don't really like it. But if
All exercise takes time and it costs energy, you know. Anyway, now, Miss Two, are you still there? Your microphone, please. You know, often Miss Two has a student in the morning and she only join occasionally because of that. It's not because she's lazy. I'm sure. But it's just because of the time constraint. She has to take care of students and things like that. So, anyway. So, Mr. Bang, please. Do you think people these days need more time to relax?
Yes, especially the people living in the city with the hustle and bustle activity.
With the hustle and bustle of the city?
Yes, with the hustle and bustle of the city, they may need more time to relax.
Okay, so do you know about the type of rest? Các bạn có biết về những dạng mà nghỉ ngơi không? Do you know about the type of rest?
Yes, there are variety type of rest that people may enjoy.
Yeah, so maybe in my other type of video, I have already explained the type of rest required. Yes. So they are roughly, say,
physical.
Yes.
Mental, physical is enough, I think.
They are roughly about 7 type of rest that you can think of. So first thing first, when you talk about rest, you can think that, okay, maybe I just sleep and that's enough. No, sleeping only fill up your physical rest. Because physical means body. Hello? Come on, what's that noise? Okay. Now, so basically, when you sleep and when you nap on the bed, it's only fill up your physical rest, so your body relax.
So how about mental health?
Mental health, you cannot just sleep and it improve. You know, it needs time. You need time away from like doing a lot of mental activity. Like for example, if I teach a lot, I need a lot of mental rest. I need to take a vacation, just stay away from teaching and all these activities that cause my brain to have a headache. You cannot just leave it over, you know. You cannot just leave it, just sleep, and then it goes away. It doesn't. You need time away from doing mental activities, so you will have your mental rest. The next one, creative rest. Like creative people, when we create new things, you cannot keep on creating things, you know, you need to rest as well. So basically, sometimes you feel like your mind went blank. Your mind went blank. Or your mind goes blank. Đầu óc thì trống rỗng rồi đó. Because you cannot think of something new. You cannot create something new. That's when you need creative rest. Just take time. it takes time away from doing creative work. So your creative rest will be fulfilled. Nghỉ ngơi về mặt sáng tạo. You just need time, you know. Sleeping, okay, it doesn't really help somehow. You just need time. A lot of these things, you just need time away from doing these activities. Spiritual rest, it means like sometimes your spirit, cái linh hồn, cái tâm hồn vậy. Sometimes your spirit needs something new to do to uplift the spirit. Cần cái gì đó làm để làm cảm giác như là mình đang thật sự là sống. To feel that you're really alive. But sometimes you need to rest from those activities as well. That's called spiritual rest. And of course, it needs time away from doing these activities. Like you cannot keep doing activities that is engaging and fun and new all the time, you know. Không thể nào làm những hoạt động cứ mới hoài được. Nó sẽ mệt mỏi. So you need spiritual rest. Now, we have next is social rest. So basically, when you talk to people a lot, after the whole day, you feel tired. You don't want to see people anymore, right? That's when you need social rest. Some people, they need more social rest than the others.
Yes.
Some people, they need more social rest than the others. Like, for example, I am an introvert. I need a lot of social rest, so I can only talk to a certain type of people for a small amount of time before I get tired, before I become tired. So I need more social rest than extroverts people. Extrovert people, they need people to talk to.
Yes, they are
So they just
now going.
need to talk to a lot of people. But, of course, everyone has their limits. So everyone needs to have a social rest. They just need time away from talking to people. Now, the sixth type of rest is sensory rest, like eyes, ears, nose, smelling, tasting, feeling. Like for example, if your five senses, or six senses if you want to, if your 5 or 6 senses have been active for some time already, it needs to rest. For example, you have worked your eyes for the whole day. You need to sleep and shut down. Otherwise, your eyes are busy. Basically, they need to rest, you know, otherwise you cannot concentrate. When you have listened to music for a long time, for example, your ears become not so clear, not so sensitive like before. You need to rest from music, from listening to music, you know. The same thing applies for tasting and smelling too, or feeling. So just take time away from doing activities that involve sensory organs or sensory things. Okay, the last thing is emotional rest. Do you have friends that are always emotional and there's a lot of dramas around you?
Maybe.
Yeah, so basically, sometimes you feel like you cannot have it anymore. Sometimes you feel like, that's it, enough. Too much
overwhelmed
dramas.
with this.
That's when you need emotional rest. Situations that happen around you in a society or situations happen to you can affect your emotion too. And sometimes you need to just, you know, get into your room, lock yourself there and rest emotionally. You understand what I'm talking about?
Understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. So there's 7 types of rest that I am about to tell you. I was telling you. Now, so let's get back to where we are. So, Mr. Yoon, please. Do you think that we humans have enough rest
I think no. Because in nowadays there have a lot of problems.
There are.
There's a lot of problems
Nowadays there are a lot of problems.
like deadlines, and you cannot sleep because of it.
You cannot sleep.
Sleep?
cannot
I say
live.
sleep. Oh my,
You cannot live. You cannot live.
live. Because of it, because it takes you every time you rest, like me, and or maybe the drama everywhere,
Mhm.
like in your house. Uh, my dad's always
My dad.
my father
Mhm.
always say bad to me, like
You mean
I'm
bad?
so but I'm so stupid.
You bad mouth. Nói xấu. To bad mouth someone. Nói xấu ai đó. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, like my father. He say
What about him?
bad words to me when I talking the right upperman to him,
Okay.
and he say the bad words to me. He
Oh,
punishes me. Oh my god! And in
okay.
Japan, we have the rules that the older people always right.
Nah, it's not always working that way for me.
That's right. God.
It doesn't always work that way for me. Now, so let's ask Miss Yuan, please. Do you think you have enough rest? I mean, the 7 type of rest?
I think I don't have enough rest because I always want to be creative in social media.
Oh.
Yes. So sometimes, like you said before, I don't have a content, or maybe my mind went blank. So I think I need more rest to be more productive in the future.
Productive. To be more productive in the future.
Yes. To be more productive in the future.
So, Miss Yun, let's say that people these days, there are so many dramas around with the COVID-19 and drama on social media.
Yes.
Do you think that people need more emotional and social rest than before?
I think there must be more emotional rest than before, because they always listen and read many toxic news.
Of course, there's a lot of news and toxic news.
Yes. And I think they must use social media in a polite way.
They don't. But they're young, unfortunately. Okay, so Mr. Bang, please, what do you think?
Well, I think they need more emotional rest as well, and there's something can be done, because it's a choice whether they allow themselves to immerse in those drama or not. For example, like myself, I try to block all those bad news, like a toxic drama from the internet. I keep myself away from it, and I found that it's a good choice ever.
Good. Now tell me. So, okay, let's go to part 2 now. It's 40, isn't it?
Yeah.
Forte is feeling bored, but I would like to go to part 2 first.
Cái này mình có làm rồi á thầy.
I think 40 we did already. 41, you have up to part 3 here. I just want to see, maybe we should do part 2 only first, because I don't want to run out of part 3, So you see, 48, there's no part 3. And just onward, there's no part 3. 52 we have part 3, but 53, 54, 55 and onward we okay, sometimes we have part 3, but that's not many. There's a lot of part 2 only, so I think that we should just focus on the one that has a part 2 first, and then we go to the one that has both part 2 and part 3, shall we?
Can we sure?
So,
Sure.
okay, this is the last one. The last one is 69. Okay, let me go back there to 27. Okay, let's do 48.
Strange person
already.
rồi luôn á thầy.
Oh, we did.
We did it. We
We
did
did
it.
it already.
Okay, how about a loving
Loving
person,
person.
you know?
Huh?
No, not yet.
Okay, let's
Yes.
do 49.
But I don't really like this.
Say again?
I don't really like this. Oh my god.
You never really like this?
Actually, I also like a vocabulary for this topic. Anyway, we try.
Describe a loving person that you know. A loving person means like the person is lovely. Okay? Một người rất là dễ thương mà bạn biết. You should say, how is this person? Who is this person? Người này là ai? How long have you known this person? Bạn biết người này từ hồi nào rồi? Được bao nhiêu lâu rồi? Why is this person loving? Tại sao cái người này là dễ thương, đáng yêu? How do you like this person? Bạn thích cái người này như thế nào? Okay, so you have 1.5 minutes for this. Okay, let's do it now. Describe a loving person that you know. Mr. Young, you first, please.
Okay. So, this is my old friend. So she's now studying at another school, but she's still keep in touch with.
He's now studying at another school.
She's now studying at another school, but she still keep in touch with me. I have known her since I was grade 1 at my primary school. We keep in touch for a long time, and now we still going out for some time. And she's very kind. She really kind, and she always helped me when I was young. Because when I was at primary school, my grade is my mark is not really.
My grades. It was not very.
Không được đẹp lắm thì sao thầy?
My grades is not very good. Let's just say that.
Okay, my grades is not very good. You helped me for a long time, and now I study. My grade now is really good, and the marks is really high, and I like her because she is good to me and everyone too. Ta-da!
Okay, good enough. Now,
Okay.
Miss Yuan, please, can you describe a loving person that you know?
Okay. I will describe about my grandmother. My grandmother is the most loving people that I've known. Known. She has
known.
I have known.
Just say that I know. Okay, easy.
I know. Yes, she has a beautiful voice and warm heart.
Voice. A beautiful voice or voice?
Voice.
Voice. Okay.
Okay. And warm heart.
And warm heart. Heart. Heart.
And warm heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she was young, she was a teacher. She taught children without payment. Uh,
She
it-
taught without payment? You mean
taught.
taught without pay?
Sorry, taught.
Past tense.
Yes, taught. Without payment, because her house near in a slum city.
You mean her house was located in a slum?
Yes, city slum. Yes.
Nhà ổ chuột thành phố. In a city slum. Okay, good. Anything
Yeah.
else?
That's why I really admire and love her.
Admire
And love her.
Admire and love her. Very good. Okay, so Mr. Bang, please. Can you describe a loving person that you know?
Okay, so I'm working at international company. International company. Let me be slowed down a bit.
Okay, you
I'm working. Okay.
Slow down, please.
Okay, so I'm working in.
Currently,
I'm working for international company, an international company. You know, my company provides a meal, so I often
just a meal.
My
just
company wait for me. My company provide meals like 3 times a day. So I have a chance to meet a lovely person in the kitchen. You know, she's a good cook. She has a very good cooking skill, and I have several occasions to talk to her, and she willing to teach me if I want to learn. You know, she has a calm character, be patient with everyone. She takes care of me as my mother does. So I like her so much.
So you mean she's still taking care of you?
Yes.
Okay, so she takes care, not took care. Okay. She
takes with S. She takes care of me.
Something that is still happening. She takes
yes,
care
right.
of you.
She takes care of me as my mother does. So
Okay.
I almost feel like at home, you know, when I walked in from my company. That's why that's why I like her so much.
Okay. Now, so right, Miss Tu is back again. Hello, Miss Tu. Can you describe a loving person that you know? Hello.
Yes. Thầy cho em 1 phút.
Sure, you need time. But okay, so
Yes. I know. I started.
Okay.
Today I'd like to talk about a kind person. She's strong.
Nói thẳng
One
vấn đề
of
luôn
my.
nha, please. Nói thẳng vấn đề luôn. Không có I like to talk today gì đó. Thẳng vấn đề luôn.
Yes.
Go straight to the point, please.
Yes. She's strong. One of my close friends, and she's 1 year older than me. We know each other.
Let's just say
when
I
she.
have a friend. Let's just say I have a friend. Her name is Trang. Yes.
I know.
Yes. We know each other when she started working. Working for me as university.
You mean working for you?
University.
You mean she works for you or work with you? Làm việc cho em hay làm việc với em có khác nhau nha.
Yes, có nghĩa làm việc chung á.
So she works with you.
Yes.
Okay.
At first we didn't talk much. I spoke of us as brother, so cold to each other. But then after a couple of university events, we began to talk more and realized that we share.
Realized
that we share so many interesting traits of personality, such as great sense of humor and kindness. We clicked each other and became good friends. I am really impressed by her heart of gold.
Her what?
Her heart of gold, trái tim vàng á thầy, kiểu như là
A
cô ta có
heart
một
of gold.
gold.
A heart of gold. Gold.
Yes, her heart of
Gold.
gold. She
Gold.
has helped a lot of people, including poor children and homeless people. For example, she gave poor children money so that they could attend school. She collected school. She collected school. She collected discarded clothes from her friends and other people via social media.
Social media.
Yes, package the clothes and gave them to the homeless.
Okay.
Her good. Yes. Cần nói tiếp nữa không thầy?
Alright, good enough. That's too much already. Quá nhiều.
Yes.
Quá nhiều rồi. Ok.
Em mệt quá, em mới.
Cái vấn đề của tôi bây giờ là phải nói cho đúng cái 2 phút đó thôi, đừng có nói quá nhiều.
Yes.
Alright, so let's go to 50. Describe a person you know who is talkative. Miêu tả một người bạn biết mà cái người đó nhiều chuyện, nói nhiều lắm. Talkative means like they talk a lot. Cannot stop. You should say who this person is. Cái người này là ai thế? How you know this person? Làm thế nào bạn biết người này? What this person likes to talk about? Cái người này thích nói về cái gì? How you feel about this person? Bạn cảm thấy thế nào về cái người này? Okay, you have 1.5 minutes now. Okay, it's time. Now, so let's describe a person you know who is talkative. Okay, let's start with Mr. Bang first, please.
Okay, so one person who came into my mind now is my coworker. I have known him since.
I have known him.
I have known. Yes, I have known. I have known him for almost 3 years. Known.
I have
known him for almost 3 years. Since my first day of working. 3 years.
For 3 years.
3 years since my first day working at this company. He impressed me with his character, and he loved to talk with people. He can talk about anything, any topic, and give a fast response when we move to new topic.
So when you want to say that someone leave an impression on you, you can say he or she strikes me as plus an adjective. He strikes me as He strikes me as talkative.
He strikes me as a talkative person, and he's quite smart. He loves to talk about everything. He can attend and discuss about any topic including social media, in social news, daily activities, and even academic topic.
Academic topics.
I quite admire him about his. I'm quite admire him for his knowledge.
Plus adjective.
Yes, quite
admire him a lot.
Admire a lot.
Cái chữ quite đó nó không có đi kèm động từ nha. Quite plus adjective. It's like a lot of people they say I very like là chết.
Oh yes.
Very like, yeah, you cannot say I very like because very and quite plus adjective, not plus verb. Okay. So I admire him quite a lot.
Admire him quite a lot for his knowledge and was smart in the way he responds to people. Oh, I could stop my thought already.
Okay. Anything else?
Okay,
Okay.
that's all. That's all I think.
All right.
Like one
Now,
question.
Miss Yuan, please.
Okay.
Cousin, you know who is talkative, please.
My best friend is a talkative person. We met at high school. She's extrovert person, so
Extrovert.
she she talk about every topic, like academic topic, like about lifestyle, about many news on social media. Typically, when I try to pay attention to our teacher, but she always talk.
Talk.
However, when we hang out and go to the coffee shop, I really enjoy talking with her because we have a lot of topics to talk. Talking to her because we have a lot of topics to say. But I think we should have emotional rest.
Okay.
Yes, but I always enjoy spending time with her.
Is that all?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, Miss Tu, please, can you describe a person you know who is talkative? Cho Tú 2 phút này.
Thầy chọc em hoài.
Không, thật sự là bắt buộc là phải vậy. It's what it should be. I'll give you only 2 minutes.
Well, the first talkative person that comes to mind is my uncle. If memory serves correctly, my uncle's 45 now. He works at a university as a history professor. So I love spending time with him because he always tell me.
You love spending time with him. You love spending time with him. Một phút rồi đó.
Yes. I love spending time with him because he always tells me tons of funny
historical story, you mean?
Yes, trời mưa lớn quá thầy ơi.
No, that is not the reason for your speech. Come on, continue please. Còn 30 giây nữa.
As far as I know, my uncle has a good head for history. He really knows his stuff.
Rồi. He really know the knowledge in his field, you mean?
Yes. When the conversation moves to history, he never stops talking. Sometimes I feel like he talks my ears up. Like when we visited an Asian town last year.
Mr. You don't have to talk so loud.
He told me everything, including lots of interesting story about the old building there. And he is not only.
Âm lượng lại, không cần phải hét lên đâu. You don't need to shout.
Sorry thầy, tại vì bên em trời mưa lớn lắm luôn, em không nghe gì hết luôn á.
Nhưng mà mọi người nghe rất rõ Tú luôn á, cho nên Tú không cần phải nói quá lớn. You don't need to talk so loud. Everyone hears you very well.
Sorry everybody. Thôi em làm lại nhé thầy cho em đọc lại nha.
You have 2 minutes again. Describe a person you know who is talkative. Bắt đầu.
Yes. Well, the first talkative, a person that comes to mind is
talkative.
talkative. Talkative. Person that comes to mind is my uncle. If memory serves correctly, my uncle is 45 now. He works at a university as a history professor.
Okay.
Sure. I love spending time with him because he always tell me ton of funny historical stories.
Let's just say history stories. Let's just say story of history. Story of history.
Yes.
Or old stories.
Story course.
You know the
As far
between historic and
as far
historical,
as
right?
I know,
Các bạn biết sự khác
as
nhau.
far as I know,
historical.
my uncle has good taste for history. He really knows his stuff. Still,
He really
when
knows
the
his stuff dùng IELTS hả? Really
stuffs,
use stuff in IELTS? He really
when
knows.
the
He really
yes.
know his feel. His
really know,
his
very
feel.
knows his stuff.
He very know. He
Really?
knows very well. He knows very well his things. He knows very well the knowledge in his field.
Yes. When the conversation moves to history, he never stops talking. Sometimes I feel like the chalks my ear. Like when we visit an ancient town last year, he told us everything, including lots of interesting stories about the old building there.
Okay.
And he is not only a chatterbox at home. His daughter says that some of his students even complained that he
Yeah,
often
I'm complaining now because you are exceeding 2 minutes already. Quá lố 2 phút rồi.
Yes.
Cái thói quen cứ nói cho nhiều đó là part 3 chứ không phải part 2. Remember that you need to talk like in 2 minutes, within the 2 minutes time frame in part 2. You can talk a lot in part 3, but not part 2, okay? Okay, so Mr. Yoon, please. Describe a person you know who is talkative, please.
I think the person talkative is my cousin. I know him when my first test years, and when I start talk to him, he talked so much that I cannot understand anything because at that time I was a kid. He talked a lot.
I was a kid.
I was a children. Oh my god.
I was a child. Singular, số nhiều số ít nè.
I was child. I was child, but he talked everything that he know, and until now he still have that talkative in his life. So I think it's really hard for me to talk to him because he talk too much.
Okay. And is that how you feel?
And he was really tired about it because he talked too much and he talked about everything that I don't know. Ta-da!
Okay, good. Now let's move on to the next one. The next one is describe a childhood friend of yours. Miêu tả một cái người bạn thời thơ ấu của các bạn. So you have to talk about a lot of things in the past, so be careful with past tense. Quá khứ nha. You should say when you met him or her. Bạn gặp cái anh chàng cô bé này lúc nào? Where you met him or her. Bạn đã gặp họ lúc nào, chỗ nào? What you did with your friend. Bạn đã làm gì với người bạn đó? Cùng với người bạn đó. How you felt about a friend. Bạn đã cảm thấy thế nào với cái người bạn đó? You have 1.5 minutes now. Okay, let's do it now. Describe a childhood friend of yours. Miss Tu, you first, please. Past tense, cẩn thận. Hello? Miss Tu,
Thầy cho
please.
bạn khác nói trước khi thầy
No,
chạy.
you first. You're wasting people's viewer time. You're wasting people's time, you know. You first. Describe a childhood friend of yours. Miss Tu, please.
Yes.
Em đang phí phạm thời gian mọi người đó. Try your best. Come on.
Childhood memory are strange things because sometimes you can't quite. Also, if you really remember something, or if you thought things you do because others have told you about it. Hình như em nói bị lạc đề.
Start again, please.
Or you have seen a photo of the event later on. I'm going to talk you about the memory that I very confident is real.
No, it's not about the story or the memories. This is about a childhood friend of yours, not about the memory that you have with him or with her. Cẩn thận lạc đề nha. Try again, please. Come on, please.
Thầy cho bạn khác nói trước đi thầy.
Miss Yuen, please. Can you?
Okay. When I was 6 years old, I met her. She's
I met my friend.
childhood friend. Yes.
You have to say who is she and her. Of
Okay.
course, I say I met my friend and she.
Yes. I met my childhood friend. She's my peer. We are classmates. And we also
We are classmates.
we are classmates.
We were classmates actually.
We were classmates, and we also were neighbor. Yes. So the first impression, we really hated each other because we studied at the primary school together, but she always told my mother about my bad or lazy behaviors. Yeah. So she and I yelled to each other a lot, but after that, I don't know why, but she have been friends. We have been friends
with me ever since, you mean?
Yes. And her character was quite bossy, but I just
bossy là
yes.
Giống kiểu mà đỏng đảnh xa hoa.
Yes.
Hay điệu.
Yes.
Điệu đà. Bossy.
But for a long time, I feel this is normal. I think I totally get used to with this.
Okay, good enough. Mr. Yoon, please. Can you describe a childhood friend of yours?
Well, I have a childhood friend because his dad is his father is friend of my father, so we have known each other for a long time since we are really young, like 1-2 years old.
1 or 2 years old.
And especially he's very good.
Especially.
Okay. He's really good at math and his memory is really good. Since he was really young, he played with chopstick to count 1-2 years old, and he just played with the count the chopstick like 1 + 1 is what, like that. Like he's making math with chopstick, and at that time I'm just playing with my toys and I don't know what the heck is math.
I didn't know what math was.
I don't know what math were.
I
After
didn't
that,
know. I didn't know what math was.
I didn't know what math were. After that, I moved to thành phố Hồ Chí Minh and
I moved to Ho Chi Minh City. And
I moved to Ho Chi Minh City and I still keep in touch with him for a long time. And in a surprising day, he had học sinh giỏi cấp cấp quận là gì thầy?
I think word he's one of the an excellent student in word level. Mức độ quận word level. If you want to say cấp thành phố city level and cấp quốc gia national level, he's one of the excellent students in word level.
Yes, and his study is really surprised. So I still keep in touch, but I still sometimes don't really like it because he's so good at math, and I do not really much like that.
Okay, quá nhiều rồi. You are talking about too many things already.
Okay.
And how felt about your friends?
I felt real proud of him, and I still want to play with him for a long time more.
Okay, good, but it's too long. Quá đi vào cái chuyện mà miêu tả làm cái gì lắm. You are going too deep into what you did with your friends, and that costs you a lot of marks in a real exam. Be careful with that. Đi quá lố sẽ bị trừ điểm. Có thể bị trừ điểm đấy. If you talk about too many things and then basically you do not talk about how you felt about your friends, something like that, you can get a minus. Okay, be careful. Đó là lý do tại sao thầy phải bắt các bạn luyện là nói chỉ 1-2 phút thôi là vậy á. That's why you have to really practice yourself to talk in a 2-minute time frame. Okay. Mr. Bang, please.
Okay, it's my turn. So when I was 11 years old, my family moved to the new place, and there was lots of child surrounding my home.
You mean a lot of children?
A lot of children surrounding my home at that time. But one of them, who is my close friend until now, he has an English name. His English name is Kevin.
Must be another Juan.
He is the same age as me.
Must be
as well as the same hobby as me as well. He has the same hobby as me. Like we love to keeping fish. We love to hang out in the field. You know, I have lots of memory in the field with him. We created a lot of games to play with each other. We went fishing and learned how to set a fire, to cook, to make a barbecue after the fishing trip. You know, I have learned a lot of survival skills with him, which are really helpful for my life. He is one of my good friend I ever have. So until now, we are still keep in touch with each other. But due to the pandemic, I don't have a chance to meet him these days.
Okay, good. Now, Miss Tu, please, can you describe a childhood friend of yours? 2 minutes start for you.
Yes, The first person I think is long. My best friend since childhood. I think it is fair to say that Long is one of the most influential people in my life. I have known this cute boys since we were both a child, and we were table mates.
We were table mates.
Yes, for the majority of our primary school years. Our houses, we also in the same neighborhood. So we frequently hung out with each other. I was extremely impressed by his witty humor, with clever jokes, and his funny face.
His funny phrases? You mean his funny phrases?
Phrases, okay.
Phrases.
We have phrases. Yes. We had the deep friendship, and that has continued for many consecutive years before he
consecutive
years before he and his family moved to Ho Chi Minh City. In fact, it was painful for me when I got separated
When I got separated
from this puppy. Besides both the families and turned familiar and cordial relation had grown among the family members. Hence, the departure was really sad for both the families.
What?
Thầy không hiểu hả thầy?
The departure was set for both the family. What is that supposed to mean? Không hiểu.
Có nghĩa là có nghĩa là hai gia đình ở cái thời điểm đó thì trở nên thân thiết với nhau.
The two families became close at that time and
có nghĩa là nên là khi các bạn này rời đi như vậy là một cái điều đáng mừng cho cả hai bên.
When he left thì sao? So when he left, what happened? So when he left, you can no longer keep contact, you mean?
Yes.
You have to say no. You have to say no. We cannot keep
No. Yes. No.
No. You have to say no more. See it? Nói không nhiều hơn đi. Alright, good. Now let's move on to something that has part 3, and that is 41. Let's go back to 41. 41. Now, describe a time that you gave advice to others. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà các bạn đã cho lời khuyên đến người khác. Cho người khác lời khuyên. Describe a time when you gave advice to others. You should say when it was. Nó đã là lúc nào. In the past, okay? Quá khứ. To whom you gave the advice. Các bạn cho lời khuyên này với ai? Đưa lời khuyên này khuyên ai? What the advice was. Cái lời khuyên này đã là cái gì? Explain why you gave the advice. Giải thích lý do tại sao bạn lại cho cái lời khuyên đó. Okay. And you have part 3 here. Should people prepare before giving advice and why? Con người ta có nên chuẩn bị trước khi cho lời khuyên hay không? Wait, why are you all turning off your microphone?
Hi.
Okay. Should people prepare before giving advice? Con người ta có nên chuẩn bị trước khi cho lời khuyên hay không? Tại sao? Is it good to ask advice from strangers online and why? Liệu có tốt để mà hỏi lời khuyên từ những người mà lạ mặt trên mạng hay không? Tại sao? What are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others? Cái tính cách của những người mà có công việc là cho lời khuyên những người khác như thế nào? Thường họ có tính cách như thế nào? What are the problems if you ask too many people for advice? Có vấn đề gì không nếu mà các bạn hỏi quá nhiều người lời khuyên, hỏi lời khuyên từ quá nhiều người thì có vấn đề gì không? Can you give an example of a bad piece of advice? Remember, advice is uncountable, okay?
Piece of advice.
So that's why you have to use piece of advice to count it. Nhớ advice không đếm được nha. Phải dùng piece of advice để đếm nó. Can you give an example of a bad piece of advice? Các bạn có thể cho ví dụ của một cái lời khuyên rất tệ xem. Okay, and then you have 2.5 minutes. Okay, time's up. Let's do it now. Describe a time that you gave advice to others. Mr. Bang, you first, please.
One of my friend, his name is Brian. He's living in Malaysia now. He's doing social Grab business. So last week he came to me. He contacted soft shell crab. Soft shell
crabs.
Yes, soft shell crabs. Last week he contacted me and told me about his problem. His business wasn't doing well due to the COVID pandemic heat. Due to the pandemic occurs in his area, so all the products that he produced wasn't able to sell. So he was on a heavy debt. It caused
He's on a heavy debt.
It caused him depression, and he has a really serious problem of his mental health. Since I have known him, I have met him few years back. So he's sick for he's what khứ của sick là gì thầy? Seeking á thầy. Seek. So
He's sick. I think seeked ed, right? Isn't it? Let me check.
I'm sorry, I suddenly forgot.
I don't really use this word that much.
Sick word. Yes.
Seek, sought.
He sought for advice from me. Actually, I didn't familiar with his business. I didn't want to give any permanent or very strong advice. I just told him to calm down and relax a bit. And as well as he need to save cost. His operation cost now is really heavy due to
the cost is very heavy.
Very heavy because he hired lots of people.
We don't say the cost is heavy. We say the cost is very high.
Very high. His operation cost is really high due to his company employ lots of people, and now they are nothing to do. So it also costs a huge amount of money. I think
and okay. And why you give advice? Because you want to help him, isn't it?
Actually, he's one of my friends, so I just try to help him in some way, and it's the best way, the best thing I can do for him, and just to make sure that he is calm and relax a bit.
Okay, good enough. Now, Mr. Yoon, please, can you describe a time that you gave advice to others?
So it's been a long time. I don't give advice to anyone. So I give advice to my. I gave advice to my friends when he had a bad test. He failed his test in the 15-minute test. So I gave advice to him how he study and what he needs to practice more. So I gave it to him and for a long time. Then his mark improved and I feel maybe happy for him because of it.
Because of a new grades, you mean?
Yes.
Is
Thôi
there
đúng rồi.
anything else?
No.
Was that why you gave the advice?
Yes.
Okay, that's good enough. Rất ngắn nhưng mà miễn sao nó không có dưới 1 phút là được rồi. As long as it's not under 1 minute and it's inside a 2 minutes time frame, it's okay. Good. Now, now Miss Yuen, please.
Okay. I used to give advice for my sister.
To my sister.
To my sister. Okay. Because she was really giddy.
Hả?
Can I say it was? How can we say ham chơi in English?
She was not a studious person. Nghịch ngợm là
And I use giddy.
giddy. Is it giddy?
Giddy.
Or giddy, isn't it? Okay, so basically, giddy, feeling silly, happy, and excited, and showing this in your behavior. It's not the same thing. That is giddy. But when someone just don't want to study and they just not studious, let's just check for antonym of
Studious.
Studious. It's someone who study a lot. Well, let me check for the words, but basically, just say that she didn't like to study much, okay?
Okay. She didn't like to study much because of her situation, so she didn't spend time on learning. So I tried to advise her to study in a serious way and pay attention to her teacher. And I really understanding our situation. I know my parents are older now, so we should try our best to have knowledge and gain experience.
Gain and gain.
Gain and gain experience.
Gain experience and gain.
Gain. Okay.
And gain experience.
And gain experience.
Okay, and that's why I gave the advice.
Yes.
Okay, good. Miss Tu, please. Can you describe a time that you gave advice to others, please? Miss Tu, your microphone. Is she... Okay, good.
Currently, I'm a freelance teacher. Fortunately, I always have the confidence of my students and often ask for my opinion or advice when they need to make an important decision.
Decision. When they have to make important decision.
A few years ago, a student asked me what school should he choose to go to college. To be honest, I was a bit confused at the time because he was an all-round good student.
What? All-round good student.
Yeah, một học giỏi toàn diện đó thầy.
Okay.
And I knew he would love to be an architect, but really, his situation was difficult. That moment, I was just afraid that he couldn't afford to study the field of his choice. So
Okay.
I hesitate to give my advice.
I hesitated, you mean?
Yes. I hesitated to give my advice. After a while, an explanation and selection, he finally agreed to choose Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology because
Technology. Ho Chi Minh City of
Because-
Technology, you mean?
technology, because it's a very good school. The
A very good school.
schools. It's a very good school. The tuition fee is low, and upon graduation, there will be very high job opportunities. Now he's a good engineer and has a stable life.
Okay.
I'm glad to have the right advice for my student.
Okay. Now, so that's good enough. Now let's go to part 3, shall we? So, Mr. Young, please. So, should people prepare before giving advice, and why? What do you think?
I think yes, because if you prepare before giving
You prepare, không có repair.
prepare. If you prepare your advice, prepare.
If you prepare.
Prepare
Mhm.
prepare for his or for that advice. It's maybe better and it's deeper, like Ồ thầy nó sâu sắc hơn, gọi là sao thầy?
A deeper,
Yes.
more thoughtful, a deeper and more thoughtful advice. Thoughtful. Một lời khuyên sâu hơn và có suy nghĩ hơn. A deeper and more thoughtful advice.
A deeper and more thoughtful advice.
I think a
That
more
is-
deeper piece of advice.
A piece of advice.
Anything else?
I think that's all.
Okay, good. So, Mr. Young, is it good to ask advice from strangers online? What do you think?
I think if you have a stranger that you have talked for a long time, like 1-2 years, you can ask them. But if you don't, if you are not, you cannot ask them because they maybe give you a very negative advice. Like if you
You
ask
mean
someone
bad advice?
bad advice, yes. Like if you ask someone that if you are so small and you ask someone online, do I need to have drugs? They maybe say yes to you.
And then if you take pills, it could harm your
Yeah.
body very much. And the harm could sometimes be very serious. You know, a lot of people, they are very weird, especially Vietnamese people. People like to hear advice from strangers, but they do not trust their own family. It's weird. Người Việt Nam rất là kỳ lạ, người trong nhà này không tin, còn người ngoài đường á, nói cái tin ngay.
That's right.
So that's that's what Vietnamese people are. But a lot of people is like that too. Not just Vietnamese people. They ask strangers for advice and they just believe it immediately. It's weird, but it's true. Now, so Mr. Bang, what do you think? Is it good to ask advice from strangers online?
I think there's pros and cons to ask to seek for advice from the internet or anywhere from stranger actually. from stranger, because there's some good advice, there's some bad as well. But you have to use your knowledge. You have to evaluate is whether it's good for you, is suit for your current status, current mood.
Okay.
So to be you should be prudent enough.
Prudent, very good.
Prudent enough. Yeah, but I think people should look for advice from people who have good knowledge, who are knowledgeable, and who have studied psychology, because they may have some really good advice.
You know,
Okay.
prudent is a very good word liên quan đến bảo hiểm prudential.
Yeah.
Cẩn trọng. Okay, that's good enough. Now, Miss Yuen, please. So, what are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others?
I think they must have some qualified to give advice to others.
I mean, they must
Firstly,
have certain qualities.
yes. Firstly, people must be sympathize
You mean
with others.
must have sympathy, you know?
Yes.
Must have sympathy. Phải có sự đồng cảm. They must have
Yes.
sympathy.
They must have sympathy with others, because this makes people easier to share their feeling, their situation, and can trust them. And if they sympathy, they will
Show
understand them.
Show sympathy.
Yes, if those sympathy, they can understanding and can help you, help they to
Have them
deal with, help them to deal with. Yes. And secondly, I think they must have a experience, a sufficient knowledge. They should have experience in what the people ask about. Like if they ask about the financial problem, or about daily life, or about academic topic.
Topics.
Academic topic. Advisors should have sufficient knowledge in this topic to help them to give them a meaningful and thoughtful advice.
Okay. Good enough. Now, so what do you think, Miss Tu? What are the problems if you ask too many people for advice? Thầy thì nhiều ma. It's like that. A lot of people, they give weird advice.
It's a difficult question.
It's not.
I often get advice from people who have gone before. Besides the good advice, there are also bad tips that they later wish they hadn't received. For example, follow your passion. Theo đuổi ước mơ.
Yes,
This
follow your passion. That is actually not a good advice. Not a good piece of advice. People always say, you have to follow your passion. But no, that is an absolutely worst advice I have ever seen.
Yes.
Cái câu lời khuyên là hãy theo cái đam mê của bản thân. Đó là một trong những cái lời khuyên tệ nhất có thể. That's one of the worst advice. But you should follow your opportunities. Phải tuân theo cái cơ hội, đừng có tuân theo passion nha.
Yes.
Alright.
This advice sounds great, but the premise is that you have to have a existing passion to guide you.
Existing passion?
Yes.
An existing passion?
Existing passion to guide you, and you don't have any, so you have spent years searching for your passion waste of time and money, but you still can't find it, which makes you sad.
Which makes you sad. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. How about Miss Yuen? What do you think? What are the problems if you ask too many people for advice? What do you think?
I think if you ask too many people for advice, you will be confused
Mhm.
because everyone has a different thinking, different opinion.
And view too.
Yes, and view. So I think typically they also listen.
Typically.
Typically, they also listen to the person. They don't take a chance to meet, like just a online friends.
Okay.
Yes, but they listen to them. The advisor don't know about their character, their situation.
Personality or what their agenda.
Yes,
Nó khuyên mình về mục đích gì? What's the agenda? Đó là cái mục đích
agenda.
nó khuyên nó làm gì? Là the purpose, the agenda.
Yeah, so I just think you must listen to yourself, and you is the best advisor of yourself.
So you are the one who knows what's best for you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I want to say it.
Good. That's good. Now, Mr. Yoon, can you give an example of a bad piece of advice?
This is hard.
It's not hard. You must be well prepared for all of these questions.
Oh, okay. So, the past years is why don't study anymore. It's not good for you.
What do you
have
mean?
too much. Someone said that just playing game, don't study anymore. It just makes you
That's
not
such
really
a bad piece of advice, isn't it?
Yeah. And more like me as well. As when I was a child, I give a piece of advice to my brother.
Piece of advice.
I gave bad piece of advice like such that thing it's not harm to you. It's actually
not harm to you. It's not harm to you. It is not harmful.
It's not harmful
to you. Okay. What else? Now, what else?
I think that's all. I guess
Okay, good. Now, Mr. Bang, can you give an example of a bad piece of advice?
Oh yes. When there's someone get a problem with a job.
Oh.
My friend bad enough to ask to advise them to quit the job and seek for the other one. My friend just simply give advice without any knowledge, without any information about his about the one who is it the one who has the one who received advice.
Okay.
I just simply give advice and leave it at a side. Don't care for consequences.
Okay.
So I think it's a bad practice of people to just simply talk, just simply say something that may harm other people. So it should be avoided.
You mean it should be avoided?
It's avoided. It should be avoided.
Avoided.
It should be avoided.
Okay. What else? Now,
What else?
so let's continue to another topic. 42. Describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. Miêu tả một công việc hoàn hảo bạn muốn có trong tương lai. It's in the future. You have to use future tense a lot. Tương lai nha. You should say what it is. Công việc gì thế? How you knew it. Bạn đã biết công việc đó như thế nào? What is it like? Công việc đó như thế nào? Explain why you think it is perfect. Giải thích lý do tại sao bạn nghĩ nó là hoàn mỹ, hoàn hảo. And then you have part 3 about the choice of jobs. What kind of job do children like? Trẻ nhỏ thích những cái loại công việc như thế nào? Do children like to choose the same profession as their parents? Trẻ nhỏ có thích chọn cùng cái ngành nghề như là các bậc cha mẹ của chúng không? Tại sao? Will people regret about their career choices when they become older? Liệu con người có hối tiếc về cái sự lựa chọn nghề nghiệp của họ không khi họ trở nên già, lớn tuổi hơn? What should people consider when choosing jobs? Con người ta nên cân nhắc cái gì khi lựa chọn công việc? Like just think about all the things related to a job, like salary, working conditions, điều kiện làm việc, lương lậu, working with what kind of people, what kind of clients, làm việc với loại người nào, với những khách hàng như thế nào, and then what's the career prospect of that profession. Cái khía cạnh mà về con đường công danh của cái nghề nghiệp đó liệu có thăng tiến được không? Is there promotion? Or is there any chance for improvements? Something like that. Can you travel abroad easily? Do you have to travel a lot? Something like that. Okay. 42. You have 2 minutes to think about this one. Okay, number 42. Describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. Who first then? I need volunteer, please.
Let me try before I forget everything.
Okay, Mr. Van, please.
So I'm going to apply for the sales and marketing position in CB company. CB company. I saw a job vacancy announcement. I saw a vacancy announcement 2 days ago on the CB company website, and my friends sent that information to me also. The job announcement to me also. Actually, CB provides a good policy for their employees as a good environment for working environment, a good colleague, a potential is
only one colleague?
No, good colleagues. And yes, colleagues. And I would call that is prospective employment. You have a how to say that? You have a high chance of promotion to higher position in the future if you perform well in your job. So I think that with a high company also provide highly payment.
You
so
mean
it was
payment?
High payment. Oh, with high pay, company provides high payment would subsidize my daily basic needs. Subsidize. Yeah. Hỗ trợ cái này. Subsidize or provide. Subsidize my daily basic needs.
So I would be able to support myself.
I would able to support myself for daily basic needs.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So you think because of that it's perfect?
Because of those factors, I would consider it is the perfect job,
Okay,
perfect
very good.
position.
Miss Tu, please, can you describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future?
Yes. Currently, I am a freelance teacher. I teach math and chemistry. I think teaching is ideal because it's a learning process. In addition to teaching students, teachers also know a lot of things from children. To be a good teacher, you need to constantly learn and improve your professional knowledge. Children are often heavily
Influenced. Often heavily influenced by.
Yes, influenced by the teachers who teach them because their attitude and knowledge will shape children's perceptions of society and later life.
Perception of the society.
Society and later life. Teachers are also people who contribute a lot of to society.
A lot of what? A lot of money.
Yes, thầy đang. Teachers are also people who contribute a lot of to society.
The society.
The society with their teaching work. As you know, honorary doctors, scientists, and engineers are the products of a teacher.
The products of a teacher.
The product of a teacher. Besides, the teaching profession is always respected in society.
In the society. But it's also under a lot of pressure from society. Đang bắt đầu đi lạc, bắt đầu lạc ở chỗ khác nè. You are about to go out of topic because you are about to say about like the good and bad of teaching, and then that's more than 2 minutes already. 2 phút hơn rồi đó.
No. However, if I have an opportunity to choose my favorite professor again, I would still choose the
profession again. I choose my profession again.
Yes, profession again. I would still choose the teaching profession as I did.
Okay, good. Now, so Miss Yuen, please, can you describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future?
Okay. I want to be manager.
A manager.
Manager. I want to be a manager like my mother because she's very good at administrating. She has an important role in company. And I think this is a perfect job because I could earn for a living. I could have a personal finance.
Personal finance? Well, effort.
Have a good personal finance, and this is a golden opportunity for me to develop. And I think I must have a responsibility for her investment because she spent a lot of money for me to study. So I think this is a good job for me, perfect job for me.
Okay. Okay, it's a good perfect job for me. Okay, good. Mr. What's your name again? I forgot. Yun, yeah. You see, I'm about to be forgetful, you see.
Oh my God.
Maybe next year I won't even remember that Mr. Young is my
nephew. Your nephew name.
Maybe I won't even remember.
Name.
I'm sorry. That's just because I work so much and I'm stressed out a lot, so I forget a lot of things. But you know, people forget things. but I never forget people who owes me money.
It's important.
It's
Okay.
Crucial, the most crucial factor.
It's the most crucial thing. You should not
necessary,
forget
yes.
people who borrow your money.
Crucial thing.
Okay, it's crucial. Now, Mr. Yun, please.
Yes. So I think the perfect job for me is working in a lab. But that's for a long time. Now I just want to work in some place like Valley Silicon. Do you know there?
No, I don't.
Silicon Valley, Silicon
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. I can stay there and working for making some
Valley. Nó kéo dài ra tại vì hai chữ L nè. It's longer
Valley.
because of double L, you see. Valley. It's valley. A Silicon Valley. Valley. Not valley. A Silicon Valley. And also you can see I-E.
Valley.
Valley. Valley.
See?
Valley. Valley. Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Okay. So I want to work at a Silicon Valley because I right there can making my games, my own games
Oh.
for make it into the world and it's popular everywhere. So I think that's my perfect job.
You can work for Vina Game, you know.
No, that play is not good because
Not good.
they take your money. They take the other people money. The player money. And it's a lot. Oh my god, it's a lot of money.
I'm just joking.
servers.
That place aren't that great.
Servers, the service that make company alive, you know.
Of course, it's all about business, you know. It's all business.
Yeah, I know, but that's so
You
cool.
cannot expect things for free. Good thing doesn't come for free. You have to understand that.
There's no such a free meal.
There's no free meal. And why you think it's perfect?
Well, I think is I like to stay alone and doing my own job, my own work. No one pushes me.
Sounds like me. Sounds like me. What happened?
No one. And no one say anything to me like my father. He always talk to me. You sit alone. You sit right there for too long, like from the morning to the evening. And he don't really he don't really like that at me. So I want to
Really
work
like that about me.
about me.
Okay, good. Now let's go to part 3, the choice of jobs. So, Mr. Bang, please. So, what kind of job do children like and why? What do you think?
I think the most common jobs that children like the most is doctor or the police, because children look at those people on TV programs very often.
They like to be singer, I'm sure.
They want to be a singer. They want to be a famous people as well. So when they was a kid,
A child. When they were children.
When they were a child, they normally admire those famous people, and they would like to become a celebrity or people play an integral role in society, I think.
Interesting point of view. Now, so what do you think, Miss Yun? What kind of jobs do children like?
I think a lot of children like to be a doctor, singer, because this can be a famous person in the future. But
They can
moreover,
be people in the future. You mean they can be
Yes.
people in the future?
Yes, they want to be famous people in the future, and moreover, they want to work for NASA.
NASA.
They want to be astronauts.
Astronauts.
Not.
Astronauts.
Yes, they want to be astronauts and use space shuttle to explore amazing things like see what I call it, mảnh vỡ vũ trụ là cái gì? Debris.
Space debris.
Yes.
Debris.
Maybe they want to see space debris.
Debris. Space debris. Không có S nha, không đọc bằng S.
Yes.
You do not pronounce the S at the end. It's space debris. Debris. Space debris. Okay. Anything else?
And I think
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So, Miss Yuan, do you children like to choose the same profession as their parents? What do you think?
in my point of view, I think it depends on their choice and their character.
Character.
Their characters. Maybe their parents are the leader of a big company, but they don't have qualified enough to be a manager. Or they don't feel joyful or energetic. So to work, and I think in our whole life, the people live for happy, successful is when you feel happy.
The people who they live for things that makes them happy, right?
Yes, they live to make things happy.
You mean they live for things that makes them happy, right?
Yes, they live for things that make them happy.
Okay. Right, good enough. Now, Miss Tu, please, will people regret about their career choices when they become older? What do you think?
Yes, I think so. Many of you have regret choosing the wrong major for the following reason. Those with high scorers will choose school. That's so
high
great.
Scores due to school. Yeah.
School.
You mean have high scores in school?
High scores có nghĩa là trường có điểm cao á thầy. High score.
Those who went to school that require high score. Những trường mà đòi điểm cao.
Score. Those with high scores will choose school. That sounds great. The industry is hard to easily apply for a job. The rural family open their eyes. They feel so confident. Those of you who have less choice because of low scores, choose a university with a low standard as long as you have a university degree.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
You mean education?
You don't disappoint your parents, but also help your hometown with relative and neighbors. Nở mặt nở mày á thầy.
To keep face.
Or nở
To
mặt
keep
nở
face.
mày, mặt
Giữ mặt. Giữ thể diện đó. To keep face là giữ thể diện, giữ cái mặt đó. Giữ thể diện.
Yes.
Keep face with the neighbors.
Yes. Or more romantic. Then you choose a university because there is someone who loves you to study, who you secretly love and miss. After all, and addition to regret, it's also.
I don't understand the last sentence. Câu cuối chưa hiểu. Nói quá nhanh.
Yes.
Speaking too fast again.
Yeah. or more romantic, then you choose a university because there is someone who loves you to study, who you secretly love and miss. After all, in addition to restress, it's also a useless waste of time and money. So be very smart.
Okay.
Yes, so be very smart in choosing a major because it determines your future.
Okay, good. Now, so Mr. Yoon, please. What should people consider when choosing jobs? This is important, an important question.
I think about it about the personality, the skill in their life, like writing skill in Word, making PowerPoint and presentation to someone else,
Okay.
and
And
the work, the place that they work, like you can work in a company or you work alone, you work in for long, you work alone.
alone. You were
Alone. Alone or
Alone.
somewhere else.
You were alone or somewhere else.
Alone or somewhere else, and your time to work that job, and do you really like that job? That's the most thing that you need. Is it okay?
Oh, kind of okay. So,
Okay.
Miss Yuen, what do you think? What should people consider when choosing job? You are already working, right? So you should know.
Yes.
Listen to Miss Yuen saying. Listen to Miss Yuen saying.
I think people consider when choosing jobs, like they don't know exactly they can follow these jobs or not.
Nobody knows.
And we care about the salary because we don't know. Could we have a
We
decent
don't know
job?
if we could have a decent job.
Yes, a stable wage, a well-paid job. We care about this a lot. We concentrate on money, exactly.
We
But
concentrate on money. You
we
mean
concentrate on
financial gain.
the financial gain.
Cái sự nhận
Yes.
được về mặt tài chính. We concentrate on the financial gain. What else?
And we care about the environment where they
You mean working environment?
Working environment. Yes.
What else?
Moreover, they care about the pension,
lương hưu, and the chance of promotion, cơ hội thăng tiến.
Yes, we care about the chance promotion and the pension because in Vietnam the pension is not enough to live when we retire.
When we live when we retire.
To live.
Xuống giọng. Rồi tại sao cứ phải lên
to
giọng?
Live.
Why do you have to raise your voice up? Just to live when you retire. Not live when you retire.
To live when we retire.
Okay, just don't raise your voice. Okay. Now, I think it's time already and we should stop here. It's already long enough. Now, 42 will answer. Any question?
Thầy ơi, cho em hỏi.
No. Oh, sorry.
Yes, Miss Tu. Say
lúc
it
mà
in
mình
English.
mình trả lời past three á thầy, là cái thời gian nó có giới hạn không thầy?
Do you think it's limited? Part 3 has no limits. I mean, you just talk and talk as much as you can. But part 2, there is a limit. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to be very strict with you in part 2 because of that. Đó là lý do tại sao thầy phải rất là khó tại cái tác part 2 là như vậy đó. Tại vì nó giới hạn 2 phút như vậy. Okay, any question?
No.
Okay, let's end the video here. Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh cái đăng ký kênh đó để mà các bạn sẽ được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.